Today I'm going to teach you step by step how to make this super cute Christmas door swag or centerpiece on a 5-gallon paint stir stick. Don't worry, it's beginner friendly. You'll find the full materials and supplies list for you below in the description of this video. Welcome to Stillwater's Wreath Designs. Come on in. Today I'm going to teach you step by step how to make a super cute door swag or table centerpiece using the 5-gallon paint stir stick. Hey guys, it's Nikki here at Stillwater's Wreath Designs. If you enjoy step-by-step wreath tutorials, be sure to subscribe to my channel. We've got new tutorials uploading every single week. Okay guys, let me just spin the camera around so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. Hey guys, where is everyone watching from today? So we are going to make today's design on a 5-gallon paint stir stick. You can get these on Amazon or basically any hardware store. They're 17 inches in length and about an inch wide. And then you can see we've got a slight indent here towards the top. The first thing that we need to do is prepare our paint stir stick by adding in some pipe cleaners. You're going to need 9 standard pipe cleaners. We're going to take our first pipe cleaner and add that about 1.5 inches below the top of our paint stir stick. Here, I'm just twisting it in that indentation, and then I'm going to make a 2-inch circle. This is actually going to be how we or our customer hang our door swag. So this is actually the back side. Now we'll flip our paint stir stick over and add the remaining pipe cleaners. We'll be adding 2 pipe cleaners directly below that hanger that we just made. You're going to have them pointing off to either side. Then we'll add 2 pipe cleaners to the lower portion of our paint stir stick. I've just come up about 1 inch from the bottom, and I'll be adding 1 to either side, just like we did above. All right, we're going to add 1 more set of double pipe cleaners in the center of our paint stir stick. You're welcome to measure if that's easier for you. I'm just eyeballing. Okay, let's add those last 2 pipe cleaners in. We're going to add a single pipe cleaner in the upper portion and the lower portion, and this time those pipe cleaners are going to be pointing straight up in a narrow U-shaped pattern. Once you've got all of your pipe cleaners added onto your paint stir stick, just run a dollop of glue over every section of pipe cleaners. This just helps keep them from sliding around on your swag. Now we can set that off to the side. Today we'll be using 2 different types of 10-inch deco mesh, this pretty olive green and then also this tannish burlap. We'll be adding 1 cruffle to every single set of pipe cleaners of each of our colors. So we're going to cut 9 pieces of the tan and 9 pieces of the green at 20 to 22 inches in length. I prefer to cut my deco mesh with this handy rotary cutter. It basically works like a mini pizza cutter. And then in the background, what you see is a self-healing mat. It allows me to measure my deco mesh and my materials quickly and easily, as well as protect my work surface. If you don't have the rotary cutter and the self-healing mat, I'll leave a couple of links for you below if you'd like to pick some up from Amazon. And you can just use a standard ruler and a good pair of scissors. Okay, let's get our 9 pieces of each color cut at 20 to 22 inches in length, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, let's get our mesh added into our paint stir stick. We'll be adding 1 tan cruffle into every single set of pipe cleaners on our paint stir stick. So I've just grabbed my deco mesh. I'm laying that in front of me, curl side up, and I'm going to curl the end in 2 or 3 times and then secure it with a clip. I'll then spin that mesh around, roll the opposite end in a couple of times, and then scrunch in the center. This makes a cruffle. We're going to add that cruffle into any set of pipe cleaners by spreading them into a wide V. We'll place that cruffle all the way down to the base of that V, and then give those pipe cleaners a couple of tight twists. Go ahead and add 1 tan cruffle to every set of pipe cleaners on your paint stir stick, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, we've got our first layer of deco mesh added into the paint stir stick. It's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and add our second layer in, which of course will be this pretty olive green, and we're going to follow the exact same pattern that we did before. So again, we'll be making cruffles with our green Deco mesh, and we're going to add that right on top of our tan Deco mesh cruffles. So come back into those pipe cleaners, open them into a wide V, add your green cruffles right on top, and then move on to the next. Go ahead and add one green cruffle to every set of pipe cleaners on your paint stir stick, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, now that we've got all of our green Deco mesh cruffles in, so we've got 2 for every set of pipe cleaners. Just look how nice and full this is, you guys. So you can see how this will be a really good table centerpiece, a really cute centerpiece. Wanted to point that out before I proceeded. Okay, let's go on to our next step. So I've got 4 different types of wired ribbon. You can use as many or as few as you wish. Just make sure that your ribbon is wired. That's what that'll really hold its shape. And here's the theme I'm using, guys. It's a theme here with that super cute glittery deer. The widest one is 2.5 inches, and then the other 3 are 1.5 inch wide ribbons. Let's go ahead and make our bow first. We're going to be adding a bow to the top portion of our swag. Of course, you could put it in the middle or the bottom too, if that's your preference. I'm going to grab a standard 12-inch pipe cleaner and keep that off to the side to secure our bow. I've just formed it into a loose V here. And I'm going to have my scissors handy as well. We're going to start out with the 2.5 inch wide ribbon, and we're just going to make a super quick hand bow. I sit this guy back here for just a moment. Let me grab my ruler so that you can see here. We'll start out with an 11-inch tail. We'll make some 5-inch loops here, and so I need a 10-inch piece of ribbon so that when we fold it over, we've got that 5-inch loop. My left hand will be my holding hand, and my right hand my working hand. I'm going to give that ribbon a hard twist underneath my thumb so that pretty side is out. We'll measure out 10 inches again for another 5-inch loop. I'm going to fold it over underneath my hand. And I want extra ribbon tails, guys. So even though I'm going to have 4 loops of this, I also want 4 tails. So I'm going to measure out at 11 inches, cut that guy off, hold that in my hand. We're going to repeat that exact same process. So an 11-inch loop, and guys, these measurements are approximate. No one's going to be measuring your bow, I promise. I'll place that underneath my thumb, give that ribbon a hard twist, and at this point I'll use my previous loops as measuring. We'll measure this out, cut off our tail again, so now we've got 2 loops and 2 tails of this pretty deer ribbon. Then we'll move over to our solid satiny green ribbon. This time I'm going to make some 9-inch tails, give it a pinch. Don't need to do the hard twist because this is a double-sided ribbon. And I'm going to give myself a little bitty button loop, which will be in the center, so it's only about, half of a finger's length. And then I'm going to cut off another tail. And I want one more tail in the background with no bow. So I'm going to cut that off at 20 inches or so and just put that in the back of my hand. So now we've got our bow stack. I'm going to take that pipe cleaner and wrap that right around the center. Tight, 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 guys, as tight as you can get it. And then I'll give it 3 or 4 tight twists. We're not going to fluff out our bow yet. I want to get it added in to our swag here. Just trimming off those excess bits of pipe cleaner. We're going to add this into our swag. We're actually going to add it at the top single pipe cleaner. If we put it up here, guys, it's just going to disappear. So I like to come to that first set, or that first single set of pipe cleaners, making sure your tails are going the right way because they like to get squirrely. And we're just going to wrap that right around that single pipe cleaner that we had there in the center, and then I like to curl them back out of the way with my finger. We're going to do a rough fluff, and by rough fluff, I'm just going to pull those tails down. You're going to have to twist it around your mesh there. Mesh likes to grab. Then we're going to open those 4 loops. I'm just pulling them into an X and opening, just like that. And this is just a rough fluff, guys. We'll come back through when we're done. Then I'm going to take that single little button, what I call a button or small loop there in the center, and open it up. You can always take more off, but you can't put it back on. However, I am going to angle trim all of my ribbon tails here. You can also dovetail if that's your preference. Okay, now that we've got our bow added in, we've not really fluffed it, we've just trimmed those tails and curled under our satin ends. Let's go ahead and add some ribbon tails. So I've just used one of the 8 sets of pipe cleaners on our swag. So let's go ahead and cut some ribbon tails for the rest of them. And I'm going to alternate back and forth between those ribbon pairings. We're going to be adding 2 tails to every single remaining pipe cleaner, and there are 7. So we're going to cut 4 11-inch pieces of the first ribbon combination and 3 11-inch pieces of the second ribbon combination. Angle trim those ends, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay guys, I've got all my ribbon tails cut, and it's time to get these guys added in. Remember, we're going to be adding 2 to every single remaining pipe cleaner, and I'm a creature of habit. I like patterns. And so we've got 4 of this ribbon combination, and I'm going to add them to the top doubles and the bottom double set of pipe cleaners. So we're just going to add 1 ribbon right on top of the other. You can eyeball to find that center point or fold it in half. We're going to give that a little pinch in the center there. Come into our set of pipe cleaners. Go all the way down to the base of those pipe cleaners and give those tails 2 or 3 tight twists. Once you've added in your tails, grab your small snips or scissors and cut away those remaining bits of pipe cleaners. I like to take my fingers in and just kind of curl that back under, and then I fluff my tails. And by fluff, I'm just shaping them in the direction that I want them to go, just like that. Let's go ahead and add 2 ribbon tails to all the remaining pipe cleaners on our door swag, and then we'll take our snips or scissors and trim away those excess bits of pipe cleaners, and then I'll meet you back here. All right, guys, all my ribbon tails are added in. I'm just going to gently curl the bow tails a little bit. I'm just wrapping them around a cardboard insert that's left over from a roll of 10-inch Deco mesh. You guys, it's really the best way to curl ribbon tails. Just going to curl them up like you would on your hair on a curling iron. You can do it as many times as you need. So if the curls are too tight, just pull down on them to release that tension. If they're too loose, just curl them again. Let's go ahead and add our deer in. Now, depending on your attachment, guys, this is a really lightweight piece, so I can just put some hot glue on the back of this deer and nestle him in, and he's going to stay nicely. If you need to, you can use some backup of floral wire to really make sure your attachment doesn't go anywhere. And I just want to nestle him in. Be mindful that you don't burn yourself, guys. Right here. You guys, how stinking cute is that? He's just kind of peeking out in there, and he's just adorable. I'll probably adjust my ribbon tails here once I'm finished to make sure he doesn't get blocked. Okay, guys, we've got one more thing to add in before we fluff out those ribbon tails, and I feel like it's super stinking cute, but it needs a little bit of freshness. And so I've grabbed some frosted white winter florals. And I'm going to just trim off every single stem here. Using your small scissors or snips, just go ahead and trim off each of those stems and then trim each of those stems in half so that they're not too long. And what we're going to do is nestle them in everywhere throughout our swag where we had some pipe cleaners. And so we'll just add a dollop of glue to the end, nestle that into those leftover bits of pipe cleaners, give them a 10-second hold, and move on to the next. I like to use my scissors to press down on those florals so that I don't burn myself. Just a pro tip. You guys, that is just what this swag needed, was a little bit of freshness. All of our ribbon tails are laying nicely. Our bow is nice and fluffed out. Those tails are whirly twirly. And this beauty is finished. I sure hope you enjoyed creating with me today. If you did, be sure to give this tutorial a thumbs up. It really helps my little channel to grow. Thanks for spending time with me today, friends. Happy crafting.